Alright, we're back with Katawa Shoujo. There's no music. Alright. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's very plain. Seriously, okay, we said that already. The big table in the center is surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something, but the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean no? Well, does it mean that nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I managed to ask why that's the case, she then claps her hands together very energetically. Hey, Chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised and you have to. Ha ha ha, okay. You want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha's talking, she then takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, she soon cuts and declares the game she has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizun's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Oh wow, there's the music. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizun's assault from fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Chan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Chan also said that she will keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha ha ha. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Okay, yeah, I said that right. Thank you for clarifying, Misha. I know I also had trouble with that word too. She doesn't know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts in a flurry of gestures, and Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please, slow down, Chan. Chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I'll crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine like childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Well, I said she had to point and attack aggressively. And I'm pretty sure she likes that. Yeah. She is either really mocking me or trying to trick me. Wait, which one did I press? I have nothing else to lose though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe I spread out my forces and try to control more territory so I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to focus on conquering the whole nation, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glass victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win, yay! There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Don't look so sad, Shad. You're really giving it your best, that's what I thought. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Chan is impressed. The mark of a great people is that they are daring, and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Chan? Uh, that isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point to potential if you don't take the first step. There's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want you to see more. You're right, Chan. That's so demanding. She leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I was expecting her to be from the start. Chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any of the clubs yet, but spending the time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before it's decided for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Chan, but I hope you're not just saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Chan, if you're gonna say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have revenge for losing at the very least. Jin smiles at that in a mischievous way, then feels like he twisted the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? She scratches her head, and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up, I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library routes are not as easily determined as one would think. Classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the ladder and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, but barely ajar, so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the door to be invitingly open, and while this open is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that something is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at the moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can be shaken from my mind so much that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from the deep sleep, though much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the set of its solitary figure, taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently pushed down her teacup, and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me that she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Uh, Hi. Sorry for intruding, I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate the response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, concerning I'm intruding upon her. Uh, thanks. I slowly tap towards another seat opposite of her, the girl resting teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes means that she must be at least partially violent. Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. I take my seat. Her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so different from the current student council office. I take it you're a new student from Yamaku? Ah, yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech pattern doesn't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her strained bow greeting. One which I hadn't hastened to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Satao. Nice to meet you, or pleased to meet you. Isao, Isao Nagai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Oh, would you care for a drink? Sure. Which much it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problems working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seemed to have workarounds for problems I had never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems to be pleased following the correct process of the offering preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of silence observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware, Miss Hakamichi, as are more students, to be with the means you're in class 3-3, you know? That's right, in the science room with Miss Mattel. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon, slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but it seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smells are quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Itao. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says it in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the fox pass, looking at her face, though she doesn't seem a little bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess it's really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone. Many of them come to terms with the conditions. a category which would include her, it seems. Not too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a pretty nice place. Thinking on it, this might be a version of this place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? There are more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in the room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, such as the art and music clubs. At the time, when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly appealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Good. That's a relief. I really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems slightly amused her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it, as Lily does the same. I look over the window over her shoulder. I notice the light coming into the room has a distinct orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. See, it's come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Sal. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think of it. It's probably something I should have asked June when I had the chance, but Lily seems to likely to know in any case. True, it's open till 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms that I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking to you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hand still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? You couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it alright. Well, unless my navigation failed me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the Hanover bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support while Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the floor, or on the way to the library. Side by side, the pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm, welcoming room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is a wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of other students in here, considering the time it is, and a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to the nurse, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course, Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Oh. The organ apparently the librarian quickly crawls out of and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, she rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She quickly reversed Lily's apology, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, yes, worse things have happened. Girls fidget with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and she shuffles some papers around the corner for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and very troubled look, she seems to fit a librarian perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the two important books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but it missed her celebration, partially for managing to change the subject. I'm sure she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she so quickly shifts between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Isao, a new student. Isao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Isao, right. Isao. Pleased to meet you, Isao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name of her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Isao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of an abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. There's too much responsibility. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get, but her objection is so sincere, I doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me what the night novels are. But, so there's a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yamako's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Uh, well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library adequately endowed. That's probably why. I spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize the shelves of all of them. It's so troublesome, and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows the revelation of too much information. Um, I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably for the best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, you go. I would have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding out one to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for a choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large prints in Braille and looks scattered throughout, but it is what it is. A library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily and stuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reached to the end of the aisle and found a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discovered a nice, quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library had the odd student sitting on the desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's a dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. Just from the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from class raised all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely surely towards the surface. Before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's the classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close, underneath her long dense bangs. I I can see that part of her face, at least a third of, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet with her own eyes. For a second I'm shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands, before I realize that looking away probably only made it worse. Takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember that when I walk up to her for it's boop 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 save. Well, um, again, as I'm going with uh answers that I'd go with that would probably lead me towards Jazoon's path, I have to avoid answers or options. I have to avoid options that will lead me to others. So I would apologize. As you can see, I already did apologize. But I can't apologize because that would lead me closer towards Hanako and Lily. So I have to go with this one. Hi, I'm new here. Saunikai, we're in the same class. Even though this probably isn't the best idea. Hi, I'm new here. Saunikai, we're in the same class. I just transferred here the other day. Maybe you don't remember. I did a self-introduction too. The girl doesn't say a word, but simply stares at me wide-eyed. I'm still getting used to this place, so I'm trying to meet as many people as I can. So, what's your name? Hanako. Her speech is stuttered and so quiet that it's barely audible, even in the still library. Somehow I think my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako, eh? So, what are you reading? She gently tips the book backwards so I can read the title, at the same time hiding her face behind it. She must have noticed me staring for horror. Life of Pi? I've never heard of it before. What's it about? A boy and a tiger on a boat. I can see this taking some time. Sounds interesting. Is it any good? She nods from behind the book, but stays silent. She looks kinda tense, a bit like Yuko earlier, but in a different way. More like petrified with terror, I'd say. So the mysterious delinquent girl turned out to be anything but, and she's quivering in a way that makes it look like she's mortally afraid of me. The only way out of this, as far as I can tell, is to try to get a normal conversation going. Oh, please don't. Just, just let her go. Just let her start reading her book and say bye. Is it a library book? I'm looking for a new one to read, but there's just so many. No, it's mine. Oh, so, do you come here often? A huge blush spreads out on Hanako's face, and her eyes widen far larger than I thought it was possible for her eyes to do. Uh-oh. Did she interpret my lame attempt at small talk as a feeble attempt to pick her up? I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I, I, I? I'm gonna go do something. Without warning, takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair like takeoff catching me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long dark hair, kinda shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear, you go. Would you excuse me? I'd better try and find her. Sure, I'll just hold on to those until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right. I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Hugo. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing, I just talked to her. Tried to get to know her. Didn't even manage to get started. Yuko sighs and looks awfully bothered, even more so than she did before. I guess you weren't wrong so much as tactless. Tactless. That girl's a bit of a special case. It's like she never really talks to anyone. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder, it's just how she is, I think. That doesn't sound all that convincing, or Yuka doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own opinions, or else they wouldn't be here. Perhaps I was being a little tactless after all. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Hugo fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile, and she blushes heavily. What? That sounds stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us have anything to do or to add, so Hugo fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. Few of all papers on their desk really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing, but I had to do it. I hope it's not too inconvenient for you. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because... I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbag when Hanako and I were sitting, and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I kind of just started reading books to fill the time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else, and just checks out my books for me. I guess that's what you call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop my books, or the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who's talking to me. It's Kenji. It seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting out of his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you the new guy again? His voice suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we've met before. Yesterday. I don't think so. I'd remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jones back, his eyes filled with uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only be two things. Either we have met, and you're telling the truth, or I just can't remember and you're a spy. He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through his thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger in my face damningly. Unlike you. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies if you think you can pass this as how. Because I'm legally blind, you're sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real, real slim. Maybe at distance, but who do you think you're kidding? Then I grab him by the shoulders and take him, exasperated. I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Can he come closer? One carefully step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically a little. I doubt he can do much damage, even if he did. Oh wait, I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sighing again, then once again, for a good measure, step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good, I think. Something wrong? I don't know. Just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on other people here, and I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this Kenji. It's not like we had any contact either. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you never can be too careful. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. See, this is how it is. This world, there's no justice. You see, even when I lose, I win, because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? Doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? It's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too, she actually ran away from me. It was my fault, really. I think. I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? Cute one? Cute? It's a hard question. She had a nice body and a really beautiful hair, but face. I guess it could go either way. Well, I think we're gonna leave this option for next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.